Did you know that according to a Harvard and MIT study, only 5% of people who take a free course online will actually complete it? Now, here's the cool twist. When a digital certificate was offered as part of that course, the completion rate jumped to 59%. The benefit of having a digital certificate for your online courses is clear. Having a set goal that people can work towards, it makes sense. The problem is, for the longest time, people had to rely on a third-party solution in order to achieve this using Kajabi. Well, Kajabi just announced inside of their help center that they are currently rolling out a digital certificate that you can use within your courses on the Kajabi platform. So in this video, I'm going to reveal exactly how they have shown that this will work, but I'm also going to touch on the previous solutions and why, compared to those solutions, this is absolutely thrilling. And I'm so excited to see that Kajabi is finally putting into action what a lot of people have been asking for several years. And I'm also going to touch on 3 things that, based off of the update announcement, I'm really hoping that Kajabi adds to this new feature in the future to really make it amazing. So with that said, let's talk about the first third-party solution that we used to rely on to issue digital certificates of completion with Kajabi, and that was Accredible. Now, in order to use Accredible as your digital certificate supplier, you required an Accredible subscription and a Zapier subscription. How it would work is that at the end of your digital course, you would essentially have a form that basically said, you've completed the course, enter your name and email or whatever details, and we will send you out a certificate of completion. Once they entered their details in that form, you would have that form connected to your Zapier account. That Zapier account would then get triggered based off of that form submission. You would then send off a message to Accredible from Zapier saying, hey, Kajabi just had this form submission, send off this digital certificate that was already set up in Accredible and send it to this student. Now, while the technical aspect of that was incredibly confusing for a lot of people, the cost of doing that was also very, very high. In fact, a subscription, an annual subscription to Accredible was roughly $960 per year, and that only allowed you to send certificates to 1,000 people in that year. If you wanted to send to more than 1,000 people, you had to pay even more. On top of that, you would have had the cost of your Zapier subscription as well. So needless to say, while the technology and the reputation of Accredible was top notch, the cost was prohibitive and a lot of people didn't want to use it as a solution for their digital certificates with Kajabi, which brings us to option number 2, which was Google Slides. So in order to use Google Slides, essentially you got to use the free Google Slides platform. You would create a certificate in there, and then you would have to set up an automation in Kajabi that essentially would get triggered when a course was completed or an assessment was finished inside of a course. That automation would again be connected to Zapier. Zapier would then say, hey, we just got this message, a course was completed. It would then send a message to Google Slides, and then Google Slides would send back the slide to Zapier, which would then be emailed from Zapier to your student. If that sounded confusing, try and set it up. Needless to say, that was also not a favorite for a lot of Kajabi members, so a lot of people didn't want to use it. Which leads to option number 3. Create a certificate in some sort of graphic editing program like Canva or Google Slides, and then you would use a Kajabi automation that simply said, when someone completes this course, send them this email with this generic certificate of completion in it. Very simple to set up. However, it wasn't personalized and it just came across really basic, unfortunately. Now, Beggars can't be choosers. A lot of people would choose it because A, it didn't have a $960 a year cost associated to it, and it didn't require Zapier to do all kinds of fancy connections. But it was basic, and it might not have represented the premium quality experience that we've become accustomed to as users of the Kajabi platform. Out of curiosity, have you already been using some sort of digital certificate for your courses? How did you achieve it? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments section below. I want to see what kind of solutions people had been using before Kajabi rolled out this super simple one. This new solution not only reduces the cost of needing a third-party platform, it drastically reduces the tech challenges and setup to get it rolling. But the biggest benefit is that it genuinely increases the perceived value of the digital courses that you create using Kajabi. Because now you can entice people with this professional certificate of completion when they go through your training. And that gives them something to work towards. You're going to have a better completion rate. You most likely are going to have a more positive success rate in terms of people who've now gone through it and can apply what they've learned because they did the assessment or quiz during that course to show that they knew what they were doing. And it's just a much better user experience. So with that said, let me just quickly walk through what is explained on the Help Center page for this new feature as to what we can expect. Now, really quickly, on the Help page, it does say this new feature is being rolled out across the entire user base in stages just to make sure it's stable. So if it's not in your account right now, it's not in mine, hence I'm using their page for this demo. Stay tuned. I will make another video in the near future once it has rolled out into my account and I've had a chance to play with it. So make sure to check back for a future update video on that. But inside of the Kajabi dashboard, you're going to click on products and then you're going to click on your courses. From there, you're going to click on one of your online course products. And then inside of that course product, you're going to click the certificates tab at the very top. From there, you'll see a toggle switch that you need to activate in order to provide certificates for this specific course. Doing so will allow the course to automatically email a certificate of completion to anybody who completes the course. Very simple, no tech issues, no complications, dummy proof. Once that slides open, you'll have the ability to upload a logo for your certificate, and you'll be able to also name the title and subtext for your certificate with whatever your course is, your brand is, etc. Now, what's really cool about this new feature is unlike the previous solutions, you also have an option now to have a serial number added to your certificate so that each one is unique and verifiable, so you don't have people just forging a certificate for your awesome online course. But you'll also be able to add an expiration date for your certificate as well. So if this is a certificate that requires regular annual updating or refreshing, you can make sure that people come back and get the updated version of your training so that they stay current and that other people can see that they are current. And of course, with the expiration date, you would also have an option to enable a completion date for when they actually achieved the course completion. Once your certificate is all set up as you like it, from there you can customize the email that will be sent out on course completion by clicking the email templates link on that same page just to the left. Then you'll head over to the course completion link to update that template. Then you'll just head over to the course completion certificate email template link and click on that. From there, you'll just update the subject line and the content for that email. And then you'll want to send out a test email to yourself just so you can see how the certificate looks and how the email itself looks to make sure it is up to your standards for how you want your students to receive it. And the nice thing about all of this is that once someone has received their certificate of completion, there is an option to both download it from the browser that they get a link for in the email, but they can also share it on social media, which just helps to not only give them a bit of a confidence boost for what they completed, but it also gives you a bit of viral exposure to other people in their circle who might benefit from your online course. Now, if you have been on the fence as to whether or not to try Kajabi, this is the perfect time to dive in and explore, especially with this new Kajabi certificate of completion feature, which not only boosts your perceived value, but will also help to increase the completion rate of students going through your programs. Below this video, I've included a special access link to get the current special offer for Kajabi that's only available for a limited time. With all of that said, and the new feature looks incredible, there are 3 things that I am genuinely kind of hoping that they do add to this new feature to really take it to the next level. The first is that on that download page for the certificate, I did notice that the URL did show the Kajabi domain. I'm hoping that's just part of the Help Center demo and that it's actually going to use the custom domain that our websites use. But hopefully, if it's not the case, that does get addressed in the near future. The second thing that I'm really hoping is that additional templates and branding options get added to the certificates. I know this is just rolling out and I'm sure it will be added in the future, but being able to use our own brand colors, being able to choose different certificate appearances would be great. And even the font selection could be really particular for a lot of companies who want to have that consistency throughout all of their materials. And the third thing, and this one is a bit more complicated, but I think would be truly amazing, would be to have the option to not automatically send out the course completion certificates, but to actually enable the ability for us to manually issue the certificates. And here's why I say that. I have taken some online courses in the past where once everybody has completed the training, the staff will actually go through, make sure everything is legitimate, and then a couple weeks or a month later, they will actually issue the certificates of completion manually to all of the participants. So it would be cool to enable the certificate functionality, but also having an option to automatically or not automatically issue the certificates, so that even when the certificates are enabled, the system will basically store the certificate in the profile, in the customer contact profile for that student, and then allow us to manually go in, and inside of their profile, we could then hit issue certificate and then have it be sent out, as opposed to automatically, and potentially have the ability to go into the course itself and actually take a look at all the certificates that have been completed in one place, and then maybe bulk print it off if this is a local school or actual training program that meets in person, etc. Basically, just the option to have a manual and automatic issuing of the certificate would be really cool to have that flexibility for people who want that control and might want to actually review the student activity before it's issued. So again, if this sounds incredible and you're excited and you want to check out Kajabi, use the special offer access link below this video to get the current special offer for Kajabi. It'll give you some extended free access, and it will also help support this channel. Now, along with adding a digital certificate to your courses, another benefit that you can toss in is access to an online community. So if you would like to learn more about the Kajabi online community feature, you'll want to watch this video next.